Alrighty, good morning, everyone. I am Saturday of the Pat McAfee Show. I am also the host of the Down With Sports Show and, of course, the podcast side. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Instagram and X. This on all the platforms. I'm just talking with my lady, Kayla. Yeah, that's my lady. That's right. I got a lady, my girlfriend, Kayla. I listen to Rodriguez. And she's about to get her podcast, so make sure you check her podcast out as well as mine. So we're going to dive right on in the command center of the Downward Sports Show. Let's get into the command center and let's get it going, shall we? We do have a lot to talk about and a lot to cover. We got NFL talks, we got college football talks, we got NHL hockey, we got all things, pretty much all sports and the kitchen sink. So let's get it going, everyone. First, let me pull my X account up on my phone. Here we go. Here we go. X. Here we go. Here we go. I'm powering up all of my apps up all at once. So I have it all ready at my fingertips. And that's the best thing about having the new and improved ESPN app. Make sure you don't have that new and improved ESPN app. Make sure you download the ESPN app now. You can get them on your Google Play, Apple Store, and in the Apple Store and your Google Play. And yes, we have new sets of power rankings out, everyone. Let's take a look at the power rankings. This is according to ESPN. It's 11-3 record. We got the the LA Rams at number 1. Last day says this. Since the last past week, we got the Seattle Seahawks at 11-3 with the win over the Colts, and with the Colts, and with the win over the Green Bay Packers, 34-26. The Denver Broncos are now up at 3. Yes, I do need myself this. So I can keep myself energized and giving you sports that you need, and all the breaking news as well. Okay, we got the Buffalo Bills at 4. Actually, the Buffalo Bills at 5. The 10-4 record after beating the Patriots 35-31, which we're now pausing them of winning the AFC. The Jaguars of Jacksonville are 10-4 record after beating the Jets 48-20. And now they're 6. We got the Niners at 7 with a 10-4 record as well. We got the Philadelphia Phillies at 8 with a 9-5 record after beating the Raiders easily 31-0. And the Green Bay Packers dropped 5 spots after losing on the road at Denver 34-26. We're going to go into more of that and the aftermath of that game. Yes, we had a couple of key injuries that came out, especially one of them was Michael Parsons. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit. The Chicago Bears keep put at number 10 with a 10-4 record. We got the LA Chargers also with a 10-4 record after beating the Chiefs 16-13. And that also means that the Chiefs, first time since 2014, have been eliminated from the NFL playoffs. And yes, Patrick Mahomes is out as well with an ACL tear. The Lions drop 11 spots with an 86 record at number 12. We got the 9-5 record. Got the Houston Texans down 12 spots to the 13th spot. We got the Steelers still at number 14 with an 86 record with the win over the Dolphins 28-15 last night. The Baltimore Ravens are at finishing at 500, a 7-7 record, coming up 19 spots to the 15th spot. The Colts all 86, despite losing 18-16 with a 44-year-old grandpa as a quarterback. We got the Dallas Cowboys down 13 spots down to 17 with a 6-7-1 record. With their loss to the Vikings, and we don't know about the scores, so we got to keep out with that. And of course, Chiefs dropped 16 spots. We're 6-8, which means they're under 500. And like I also said, they also lost the quarterback in Patrick Mahomes with ACL tear. And of course, the season is completely over. They got the final few games to play out. And then after that is time for the offseason and the rebuild. They definitely need to do some rebuilding. And you might need to get a quarterback for a while because we don't know for sure if Mahomes will be back fully for next season or not. We're not totally sure yet. That's right now still up in the air. Miami Dolphins are 19 with a 6-8 record after losing last night to the Steelers as well. The Panthers dropped 7-7 record at 500 after losing to the Saints 20-17. The Tampa Bay Bucks also at 7-7 with a 21, probably 20 spots, with the loss to the Falcons 29-28. The Vikings are 6-8 and the Chickens under 500, moving up 22 spots with the win over the Cowboys 34-26. The Bengals nothing. We need some quarterback help. With a 4-6 record, 23. The Falcons, a 5-9. 24, staying put. He's put. Saints are at 25 with a 4-10 record, and the 14 as well as the Commanders at 26. Giants with the 2-12. 28th. We got the Cardinals, 3-11, as well as the team also 3-11 as well. 29th, and then of course the Jets, 3-11, and the 2-12 with the Tennessee Titans. So yes, we got a few more weeks left to go in the final season before we hit the postseason, and we are gonna find out within the next couple of weeks who will be having the number one pick overall in the draft next season, next year's draft, live in Washington. So let's get back into the. I know we cut the scores, but I'll give you a rundown on that. Basically, because I was just us doing the power rankings. Falcons beat Bucks. Packers lose. Vikings win. Bills win. Well, we can't get it all to you, but we do need to talk about the fact that the Chiefs are out of the playoffs and losing Patrick Mahomes. And yes, this is the first time that the Kansas City Chiefs have been eliminated in the postseason since 2014. That's right, 2014. So that was 11 years ago. Exactly since the last time they were eliminated from playoff contention. And they'll get a hat and they go on a run. They had won back-to-back Super Bowls. Couldn't get a three-peat. We do have. And that Rams game last weekend with the Lions was definitely a good one. We'll look at the next week. Let's look at this week's coming games. And yes, we get the Rams taking on the Seahawks, where the Seahawks favored by 1.5 points, going to ESPN Bet with the spread. 7-15 game. And that's on Prime Video. If you don't have the Prime, if you don't have Prime Video and you don't have Prime, make sure you sign up now, so you can watch that game on Thursday night. You get you get TV shows, movies, sports, everything you want in Prime Video. As long as you have a Prime account, an Amazon Prime account, you can definitely use the Prime Video for this. We're going to go into the Saturday games, but we're going to the Sundays. Monday's game is we got two games on Saturday, everyone. That's right. This Saturday is the first set of games we have on a Saturday afternoon and evening. That's right. We got two of those games this week on Saturday. Got the Commanders taking on the Eagles at 4 o'clock on Fox. Also on Fox at later in the evening at 7:20. Got the Chicago Bears hosting the Green Bay Packers. Can the Packers rebound from their loss, and can they win without Michael Parsons after going down on the ACL? That's right, Parsons is out, definitely. And I'll just showing this audio on my way here on Sports on Wildy and Tasher, Jason Wildy, Mark Tasher, and of course, of our Sports Mike, Evan Cohen. And they were talking about, would you rather have Michael Parsons and go to a Super Bowl, or go to an NFC Championship game without Parsons? Which one would you rather have? And let me know in the comments in the replay of this live, and let me know what you think. Would the Packers, or would you rather have the Packers in the Super Bowl with Michael Parsons, or the Packers in an NFC title game, NFC Championship game without Michael Parsons? Which one would you rather have? For me personally, yeah, I would choose the Super Bowl with, but if I look at the other way around, I would rather have him in the Super Bowl, because if you have him in the Super Bowl, then you had him for that championship game. To get to the Super Bowl, that's the only way to get there. There's no other loopholes or anything you can get to get into the Super Bowl without winning that title game. And if you don't win the title game and you don't have Parsons, you're just done. You're just freaking effing done. Anyway, we also have on the Sunday games, we got Cowboys and the Chargers on Fox at noon, as well as Jets Saints on CBS. Bills and Browns also on CBS, as well as Chiefs and the Titans. I just hope the Chiefs will have enough power to beat the Titans, because if they lose, I'm not going to be happy. I know a lot of people will not be happy. They're already not happy now since they got eliminated and lost their quarterback to an ACL. Of course, we're going to find out who's going to be taking his place. The Vikings takes on the Giants. That's over at noon. Same thing with the Panthers and taking on the Buccaneers. Eagles will take on the Dolphins on the road. Also at noon on CBS. The Fox slate, we got Jags and Broncos, Falcons and Cardinals. 305. Detroit Raiders and the Texans. Steelers and then on Saturday afternoon on CBS, we have the Steelers taking on the Lions. That should be a playoff game right there for both teams. Right there. With Detroit being favored by 7.5, according to ESPN. But and if you're planning on making a bet, make sure you are 21 years old, and make sure you are. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions do apply. We got the Patriots taking on the Ravens at home, on the road at Pittsburgh, and that game is on ABC, NBC, and Peacock. And then on the simulcast, we got the Niners and the Colts, with the Colts hosting the Niners. And of course, that's also a simulcast with ABC, ESPN, and ESPN2 with the Manicast. As well. Okay, that's the NFL portion of the show, at least on score of upcoming games. Why not? Yeah. We do have and college hoops going on tonight. We go to the Duke. The undefeated Duke taking on the Lipscombs on ACC Network. On at 5:30, we got the Peacock. We got Toledo taking on Michigan State. We got Louisville and Tennessee on the hardwood on ESPN at 6 o'clock. On Peacock at 6:30, we got St. John taking on DePaul at home. We got ETSU at 7 o'clock on ACC Network against the Carolina the Tar Heels. Texas Tech would take on North Colorado at 7 on ESPN Plus. Also on Peacock, we got the number 5 UConn taking on Butler at 7:30. Arizona would take on Luna says Auburn Christian at 8 o'clock on ESPN Plus. Pacific and BYU will go underway at 8 p.m. on ESPN Plus tonight. Then Queens and Arkansas will go at SEC at 8 at 8. And then you got Thompson and Kansas 8 o'clock as well. Also, that's on ESPN 2 for the men's hoops. Okay, let's check out the lady hoops. We only got 3 games on the slab today. We got Morgan State on LSU. That's later in the afternoon. In the next half hour, actually, at 11 a.m. We got AP Pine Bluff taking on TCU at 6:30 on ESPN Plus. And on Bitchin' Network, we got Cal Poly taking on UCLA. We also have some NBA action going on tonight. We only got the one game on Prime Video at 7:30. Knicks to get on the Spurs. The Knicks favored by 2.5 points as well. And both teams are coming into the game tonight's game with an 18-7 record. Let's check out the NHL because we know that's heating up. We got the Mammoth taking on the Bruins at 6 on Plus on ESPN Plus. We got the Blackhawks and the Maple Leafs. What is that on ESPN Plus? Maple Leafs taking on the Blackhawks, Flyers, and the Canadians at 6 as well. We got Islanders and the Red Wings as well. We got the Cranks taking on the Rangers. We got the Ducks taking on the Blue Jackets. And at 6:30, we got a simulcast on TNT, True TV, and HBO Max. The Oilers taking on the Penguins. Cowboys and the Wild. We're going out at 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Flames and the Sharks will go out at 9 on ESPN Plus. And then we have one last game. That's also a simulcast. That one's taking on the Cranes, TNT, True TV, and HBO Max as well. That's right. Got a lot of hockey going on. All right. Let's check out. See if I got any. And of course, you do have ladies volleyball this past weekend. Indiana did take over. Yes, Texas did beat Indiana 3-1. Wisconsin did 3-1. In Stanford, and Texas did a 3-2. Section 2. Nebraska did it 3 straight. Kansas. And Saturday we had Kentucky 3-3. Purdue loses to Pitt 3-1 in 4 sets. Of course, Sunday you had both Texas schools. Texas going in A&M. The Badgers in Austin and Nebraska taking on A&M. A&M moves on 3-2, and the Badgers upsets the Longhorns in Austin, Texas. 3-1. So you have the semifinals going on Thursday. With Texas A&M and Pitt taking on Thursday, and that's at 5:30 ESPN for a serve. And then at 8 o'clock ESPN for a serve, because the Badgers of Wisconsin taking on Kentucky. The semifinals, and then of course the winning teams will go on Sunday's match for the title game at 2 o'clock on ABC. All right, I gotta stress it there. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We've got a lot more to cover, but we'll be right back after this. And we'll be right back on the other side. We got a lot more to go on. We'll be right back in 5. Okay, back. Like a minute now, so to speak. And we do have some good news, and I will heard about this already. Team Manning will be returning for us next year with Texas. He will be returning for the next year for school for 2026 season. So that's gonna be good. I have him to return, and he needs it, especially with it, so he may have a better stock draft status, draft stock going into the draft next season. Not this coming draft, but the following draft in 2 years, 2 drafts from now. And yes, this was asked on Unsportsmanlike this morning, and I want to ask the same question here. No Mahomes, no Burrow, likely no Lamar. Do you believe that not winning the playoff game is a failure of the season for the Pittsburgh Steelers? We're going to look at it both ways. Look at it at both ways. The two different ways I'm looking at it. One way you can get in, to the other you'll be out. And of course, it's Aaron Rodgers. And with that, I said they should get in. They should get in. In order to get into the playoff, win, and then go out of the sunset and retire from the NFL. And finally be done with his NFL playing career before he drops the cleats and picks up the microphone and put on a blue blazer. He also, yes, there actually have been some baseball that has returned. Some baseball news that has been coming through. So let's look at let's start with some with Shams. Yes, and according to Shams, Atlanta Hawks has a center, and looks like one of the guys will be missing for 2 weeks and undergoing for the evaluation. So he's been both sides are pressurizing the long term of the season for the season. He will miss 7 to 8, at least 7 to 8 games, basically. With that one, of course, Wembanyama is likely to return for Saturday's game. That was 4 days back. Same thing with the Grizzlies with 5 games back with the Memphis Grizzlies with their center Zach Erdo will return after 4 weeks of stress reaction to his left ankle. according to Heather, our senior college football insider. And yes, we had a great Saturday. Last Saturday was the one of the greatest traditions of all. America's game, the Army and Navy football game. That's right, and that was a pretty good game. And though Navy got the dub. And yes, Notre Dame is having some fighting rules to talk about. And yes, we will go into the college brackets a little bit. And let's see here. Okay, let's go from Heather, from Emily, I have from the NBA and the NHL insider. The general manager of Buffalo Sabres, Keelan Adams, has been relieved of his duties. It's like we got a GM has been fired. Buffalo's GM has been fired. That was in the last day. Connor Bestby's has an upper body injury, and he has been considered a week-to-week basis. He will be elevated. He will be evaluated in January of next year, but there's not concerning so and is not considering surgery right now. I want to hear more on that. I'll let you know. And of course, as a fallback days back, we also had a trade with the Minnesota Wild, trading with Quinn Hughes, plus sources told ESPN as well. Okay, let me go in with our senior MLB insider because we did have some MLB stuff that went on lately. And yes, the Red Braves have been making some moves. The infielder Ha-Seong Kim and the Braves haven't agreed to a one-year agreement with $20 million contract. Sources tell ESPN Kim and had a multi-year opportunities, but will return to Atlanta and play because he's shortstop full-time and hit the free agent market again next winter. So we had, at least the Braves got him locked in for a year. Outfielder for the Philadelphia Phillies, IDs Garkisa. I think they said, I'm not sure. Even they have finalized a one-year deal for $10 million contract, sources tell ESPN. And the 32-year-old has non-tendon tension by Texas and will look for a bounce-back season in the middle of the Philadelphia lineup, the Phillies lineup. First baseman Josh Bell of the Minnesota Twins, all in an argument in an agreement for a one-year contract with a multiple of options. Sources tell ESPN. Bell, 33, is a pitcher, a switch hitter who will play at first and DH for the Twins, making his first big league signing of the winter. Right-hander Dustin May of St. Louis has an agreement on a free agent contract. And of course, that is pending a physical, sources to ESPN. With that, okay, I'll give you that. Let me go to Pete Thamel. Let's see where I got from Pete. From the last couple of days into the past weekend. Okay, looks like East Carolina is targeting North Texas offensive coordinator Jordan Davis as their school next offensive coordinator, and a deal is expected to come through soon. North Texas lead to the country And they both have the in country in both total offense this year, scoring and offense this year. Davis is set to replace John David Baker, who went to Ole Miss. Okay, so let's tell former Arkansas DC Travis Williams is expected to join the staff of Texas A&M. He's expected to be the linebackers coach and potentially another title on style. Williams brings several options for the years of the SEC. Experience from Auburn, and of course, his defensive coordinator job at UFC. And with just the last day, we had Boise State offensive coordinator, offense of tackle, Tag Casey is declaring for the NFL draft. That's a lot of players are starting to declare themselves for the NFL draft. And of course, those players might even opt out in their ball game. And wait until they have their combine for next year, as well as the pro days. As well. Okay, let's see what I get. Let's see what I get from Al Schefter with the last several days plus. The Colts head coach Shane, he had told reporters that below. Of course, this had to do with Philip Rivers. He will be starting next Monday against the Giants of San Fran, so that's good. Can he bounce back? Can he get a win? Get Colts back in the winning side? We'll see. The Steelers now have a running back, Jalen Wallen, to the injury report for tonight's game due to an illness and listed as questionable. That was as of yesterday's game, of course. Just despite the defensive coordinator, Steve Ricken. Yeah, that's right. He gets the boot. According to the sources, my sources, that believe that the Ravens linebacker, see. Yes, we got a couple of ACLs. This is an ACL tear during Sunday's win. The Ravens game. He will undergo additional testing today and confirm the injury. That was yesterday, of course. So that's what I got so far from Adam Schefter on ESPN app. Got a little strips there. Yeah, so let's see here. Let's go into the college football. We do have ball games to go through. I mean, these ones that we had placed so far, we had a couple. We got a game this Thursday night at 8 p.m. on ESPN. Troy takes on Jack State in the Salute to Veterans Bowl. We had a good one this past weekend on Saturday. And four overtimes. The South Carolina State taking on Pryor View and the Cricket Celebration Bowl for the 40-38 victory. And yes, Washington beats Boise State in the Blackened Up LA Bowl. We have a game tomorrow, 2 games tomorrow night. So one of the first ones at 4 in the afternoon. That would be Old Dominion Old Dominion taking on South Florida at the Staff DNA Cure Bowl. Louisiana will take on Delaware and the 68 Veterans Bowl. That's at 6:30 tomorrow night on ESPN as well. Thursday, we got a game, and that is Missouri State taking on Arkansas State in the Xbox Bowl at 8 o'clock on ESPN2. And yes, you also start Friday with a couple of games. I do these two first. Kansas State will take on Michigan in the Motia Beach Bowl on Friday night at 10 a.m. that morning on ESPN. And then, of course, at 1:30 on ESPN, we have Memphis taking on North Carolina State in the Union Home Mortgage Gas Pre-Bowl. And, of course, we got the first of several playoff games also this weekend. And the first one starts on Friday night. That's what Alabama will take on Oklahoma in Oklahoma. First round of the playoffs. That game will be simulcast on ESPN and ABC at 7 o'clock this Friday night. And the second game on the 20th, on Saturday, we got A&M Texas will be hosting Miami in the first round of the playoff on ABC and ESPN simulcast at 11 in the morning. On Saturday, we got Tulane taking on Ole Miss as well. 2:30 on Saturday, and that's the college football playoff first round as well. And that was a simulcast on True TV, TNT, and HBO Max. Then we also have on taking on Montana State and the FC Championship semifinals on ABC at 3 o'clock. And of course, James Madison taking on Oregon at 6:30. On True TV Max and True TV as well. But the other college football playoff first round. Then you got at 6:30 on ESPN2. You got the FCS Championships semifinals. Illinois State taking on Villanova. Washington and Utah State will play on next Monday at 1 in the afternoon on ESPN. That'll be the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. So make sure you get your potatoes ready to eat while you are watching that game. It's definitely going to be a big spot of a game. Washington State will take on Utah State also on Monday. That's 1 p.m. afternoon game. Wait, so that one. My bad. Okay, we got Toledo taking on Louisville. 1 p.m. and on ESPN on 1 p.m. on ESPN, and that is the Boca Raton Bowl. And yes, Evan Cohen will be part of the crew calling that game. I think he's on the sideline as well this time as well. So if you want to see Evan Cohen do his sports takes on this particular game, make sure you go say hi to Evan Cohen on Sportsmanlike at the Boca Raton Bowl. The Beans Boca Raton Bowl. Then we have the 4 o'clock and 4:30 on ESPN. We got Western Kentucky on Southern Miss in the New Orleans Bowl, and then you got UNLV taking on Ohio on that Tuesday on 8 o'clock. The one before that is 4 o'clock, 4:30. UNLV will take on Ohio in the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. And this is ironic. California takes on Hawaii, and we're playing Hawaii, 7 p.m. on ESPN, and that is the Hawaiian Bowl, actually. Got the South Michigan taking on Northwestern at noon on ESPN on Friday the 26th, the day right after Christmas. For those of you who celebrate the particular holiday, in the game above Sports Bowl. And of course, you got the New Mexico taking on Minnesota Friday afternoon at 3:30 on ESPN. And the Lake Bowl. And then get FIU taking on UTSA at 7 p.m. on Friday on ESPN as well. And that is the First Responders Bowl. Then you got Pittsburgh taking on East Carolina at 10 in the morning on Saturday. So looks like you need to get your breakfast, your coffee, and your ice cold beer at the same time. Maybe having a mimosa with that one, with this one. And Pittsburgh takes on East Carolina in the Golf Bowling Military Bowl. We have Penn State taking on Clemson at 11 a.m. on ABC, and that's the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. And of course, you got your Army going at it in the Wabisa Fenway Bowl. Now at 1:15, I imagine that game will be at Fenway Park with the name Fenway in the name. We also have BYU taking on Georgia Tech on ABC at 2:30 on that same Saturday in one of my favorite bowls, the Pop-Tarts Bowl. So make sure you have your Pop-Tarts ready for that meal. So we got, and let's see what flavor is going to be that will be going down into the toaster, the life size toaster, and see what come out ready to eat. Good mommy over here to Fresno State on the CW network at 3 o'clock, 3:30 p.m. And yes, that's the Hizzle Dizzles Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. That's right, Snoop Dogg has his own bowl. North Texas will take on San Diego State at 4:30 on that same Saturday. The Isaiah North Mexico Bowl. Actually, Virginia will take on Missouri in the ABC in the Tax Saver Gator Bowl. You got Houston taking on LSU at 8:15 that night. In the Kinder's Texas Bowl, you got Georgia Southern taking on App State at 1 in the afternoon on that Monday. And yes, this is being played in my hometown of Alabama. In the J. Rob Birmingham Bowl. And then on Thursday the 30th, the night before New Year's, we have Coastal Louisiana Tech taking on, going at it again in the Independence Bowl at 1 o'clock on ESPN on that Thursday night, on the Thursday afternoon. Tennessee will take on Illinois at 4 o'clock on ESPN. In the Alamo Bowl, Michigan and Texas would go at it at 2:30 on Wednesday on ABC on New Year's Eve. In the Cheez-It Bowl, you got Iowa and Vanderbilt taking at 11 a.m. on also on New Year's Eve on ESPN. On the Wireclash Bowl, you got Arizona and Duke on 1 o'clock on CBS, and that is the Turn the Tiger Bowl. And you don't know the right. We got Utah and Nebraska going at it on 2:30 on ESPN, and that is the SOS Discipline Las Vegas Bowl. And then, of course, the game prior to that was the first round of playoff. We got the second round of playoff. Ohio State will wait on their game. Who they're going to take on, and that will be the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic at 6:30 on ESPN. Capital One Orange Bowl, 11 a.m. on Thursday on the 1st. ESPN. Whoever wins that one will go to play in Texas Tech. Then, of course, Indiana will be waiting on their game, and that will be in the Rose Bowl. That's the Rose Bowl in California, Pasadena, at 3 o'clock in the morning and the afternoon. And of course, we have Georgia win on their game in the All-State Sugar Bowl at 7 p.m. Also on the first. And then you got a couple of games on the second. West will take on Texas State at 12 in the morning. And that is the Lockheed Mountain Armed Forces Bowl. We got the Navy taking on Cincinnati in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl at 3 o'clock on ESPN on the second. We also have at 7 o'clock in the evening, got SMU taking on Arizona in the Trash and Well Holiday Bowl at 7 o'clock on Fox. On ESPN on Fox. On ESPN at 7 o'clock, we got Wake Forest taking on Mississippi State in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. And close, make sure you watch the post game of that when they have the ceremonial dunking of mayonnaise on the coach's head. And then from there on, we got the semifinals and then got the finals. We're going to take another commercial break and be right back. And we got a lot more to go on, so we'll be right back after these messages. Make sure you get all your Celsius needs. And you know, anywhere you can get Celsius. Actually, so make sure you do yourself something today. It's clean, it's pure, and it's definitely delicious. So yes, we gotta get right back into it. So let's get into the athletics. See what we got. And according to the athletic, ooh, right, let me do this. And yes, Indiana's the only team yet to lose a game. Only team that is in the AP poll that is undefeated. And then you got the Dogs of Georgia, then Ohio State, then Tech, and so on. We got a lot of games going on this weekend for sure. I do want to talk about Philip Rivers. But he's a 44-year-old man, a grandpa, and he's back playing football. And they were just talking about this earlier also on Sportsmanlike this morning. Yes, with Evan Cohen, Chris Kenty, and Michelle Smallman. On Sportsmanlike with Joe Thomas this morning, actually. And I want to talk about that a little bit because Joe Thomas is my age. He's 41. Could you imagine Joe Thomas coming back at his now? I wonder how well he would do. Could he be as good as Philip Rivers, or would he be about the same? Of course, it's been a while since he has been playing ball himself with Joe Thomas. But I would love to see what he could do if he could do it today in Cleveland. Okay, let's see. You have to get into everything sports. So let me see if I got anything that's breaking or anything I can get here on my X account because I know I can get a lot of stuff on X that are happening right away. Let's meet you guys on Sportsmanlike. See what they had to go on. Talk about this morning. Okay, here's a good one. If you get the Aaron Rodgers that we've seen over the last 2 weeks, not only is the Steelers team capable of getting to the tournament, but they capital of being capable of able to win a playoff game and go a little bit of a wall here. Can they do that? I think they could. I think they could. They go on. Like I said earlier about possibility of them going to the playoff, of going into a playoff games and even the Super Bowl. And hey, if the Broncos go all the way, if the Steelers goes all the way, end up winning it all, that would be the perfect way to end Aaron Rodgers' career. And you see him just walk out on the sunset. You know, I kind of bring up one thing from last Saturday's game of the Army Navy game. I don't know. I don't always talk about Donald Trump, but that flip that he did was not much of a flip. It was just more like a toss up. Like coin toss and not much of a coin toss. It was just a flip up in the air like that. Anyway. Oh, looks like we got some Iron Power rankings from Chris Canty. Iron Grid Power rankings from here, and his number 5 pick is the Bills. Number 4 is the Texans. The Seahawks at 3, Rams at 2, and the Rams at 1. According to Chris Canty. And here's another thing. Let's see here. And then, let's see. Let's talk about a little bit of Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has been in quite some time. And then, yes, he has had a lot of injuries lately. He's been doing a lot of injuries in the last many years. And I remember hearing that he was thinking about maybe either leaving or continuing with another team. I want your opinion on this, and I want you to comment in the comment section on the replay of this live. Do you think that Joe Burrow should come back? Should Joe Burrow stay with the Cincinnati, or should he go to another team for the next season? Finish out the season here now, and then go somewhere else next season. And can the Wisconsin Badgers football team finally get things together next season? Go, no, they're already keeping the head coach in Luke Fickell. To me, I'm optimistic about that. And I'm also optimistic about the Green Bay Packers going to the Super Bowl. And yes, and don't forget, I said this even before Michelle's mama even predicted. We both predicted that it would be the Buffalo Bills and the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl, and the Bills would win it. I said that as well as Michelle's mama over on Sports Mike. So I'll put that as the record that I predicted that as well as Michelle. I predicted that just before Michelle put her prediction up of the same thing. Yes, I did see that. For the record, and I know I have it in the archives here in the Denver Sports Show. With the Denver Sports. Because I do remember talking about that on my X account. And let's talk about the Patriots, shall we? Because the last time I seen a Patriots team as good as they are now was back when Brady was there. Yeah, I know they had a thing with Matt Jones. I know that. But they struggle more they do with Jones than they are with Drake May now. But he was doing really well at San Francisco back when Bob Putty was out. And he was doing really good as well. And yes, I did do my Prime. So let's take our first Prime break. Sponsored by Prime. And then I got my Cherry Breeze. I'm going to be getting different flavors coming up. Oh, that is good. I wonder how that would taste like if it's made into a slushy. And yes, I do want to talk about WWE John Cena. This past weekend was WWE's Saturday main event. And we all know that was the final match of John Cena's career in the ring. He's still going to be part of the WWE. He's just no longer be wrestling in the ring. And yes, he tapped out to Gunther. Yes, I'm addressing the fan as much as everybody out there, including my friend Alex Stroke. Well, I also like tummy sauce. Anyway, John Cena has always been in the business for over 20 years, and I'm just gotta say, and tap my hat to him and say, good luck, my friend, in retirement. Hope to see you soon. I hope to meet you in person one day. Now let's get into it. Back into it. We got a lot to talk about. Well, let's talk about Michael Parsons, shall we? Let's talk about the Packers. Because the Green Bay Packers earlier this year, they traded for Michael Parsons for Kenny. Anyway, and the Packers were looking great with him this season. He was good up until he got his ACL. And yes, he did tweet. So he will be back next season, yes, for sure. But he's out for the rest of this year, though. And I want to mention this now. I kind of did this in a text last week on Jeremiah Molly didn't read that one, so didn't share it. But I will share it here on the Down with Sports. And that is the fact that I'm concerned that the Packers will kind of go back a little bit this week. And yes, they got the Bears this Saturday. And yes, it's a bit of a short week. By one day less than the full week. Because they played this past Sunday, and then they play this coming Saturday evening. So yeah, there is one day less than they had to practice. They had to do. And of course, they also had to do with injury as well as. Okay, now we had the Parsons. We also had Christian Watson go down. We had Zach Tom go down as well. Luckily, some of these injuries are not as bad as the other. Of course, Parsons is the worst overall with the ACL. And of course, we all know Lucas. We also know that. Let me see. Okay, now this is going to the Packers Live Wire MSN. So now we got my guy, we got Christian. Is that Tom? Even Evan Williams got injured this past weekend. So yes, Parsons out for the year. We got Zach Tom banged up. We got Christian Watson banged up. Even Mike Williams is banged up. So I wonder how they're gonna play this. And I love how the Packers this past weekend play Matthew Golden. They put him in the position that he was doing that he could have a future in. And I think he will have a future in the way he played this past weekend. Yeah, I know he has been battling injuries himself as well, but he still is phenomenal the way he has been playing. Even after losing the game, he's still showing potential. We got Michael Parsons with his knee. We know that's the ACL. Christian Watson was a chest and shoulder injury. That was sustained as well. Was that Tom's knee? Knee was Evan Williams as well. So yeah, we got several guys out and banged up. Will not play, and we're not sure. Would you hit the panic meter now for the Packers season? Because let's pull up the rest of the Packers schedule, shall we? Let's do that. Make sure I get the right one. Here we go. Okay, now, rest of the season, we have the Packers. We got, of course, this Saturday, we have the Bears. And then next week on Peacock, we got, basically, we have 2 games in a row on Saturdays, both games. This Saturday and next. So the next 2 Saturdays, we have 2 games. And the last one is yet to be driven for time, but that is on the first. There will be a packaging on the Vikings. TBD for the time for now, as well as TV. But the Bears got the Packers with a 1.5 point favored. And then the Packers take on the Ravens, pretty good Ravens team. They are right now coming out 7-7. Next Saturday as well. Let me forget the Cowboys. We need to check out on the Cowboys because that's what they've been doing. They are making some good strides. Let's see. Here we go. Cowboys. Let's go with what they had. They lose to the Eagles. Beat the Giants. They lose to the Bears. Tied with the Pack. They beat the Jets. They beat They lose to the Panthers. They win over the Commanders. They lose against the Broncos. They lose against the Cardinals. And they win against the Raiders. They beat the Eagles by 3. And then the same thing with the Chiefs. Then they lose to the Lions. Then lose to the Vikings. And then, of course, this week they have the Chargers left, the Commanders left, and the Giants left. We have their season. With the 6-7-1 record, they could get a possible playoff, at least wild card, possibly, but I'm not totally positive on that myself. For the Cowboys, but yes, we got teams that are still in the hunt for playoffs. We already know the Browns are out. We know that. We know the Chiefs are out. We know the Titans are out. Giants. But this one is what I do want to check out. For this week is the Fox game of 3-7, Denver and Jacksonville. This could be a potential Super Bowl, maybe. I'm not sure, but it could be Jacksonville, Jags, and Broncos. Jags are doing great with a 10-4 record, and of course Denver is 10-2 record. And it's been a while since the Jags had a season like this. So they have the Broncos this week. Next week they got the Colts, and then they get the Titans out of that. Let's see here. We also have there's a potential for the Texans to get in, but they'll need some help to get in with the 9-5 record. The Lions and the Steelers, that's definitely going to be a playoff implication game. Both ways. of both teams. Let's go through the Detroit first. They got this week with the Steelers. Next week they got the Vikings, and then and finally they got the Bears. And by the way, for programming note, they play Thursday, the 25th, the day of the Christmas Day at 3:30 on Netflix. So yes, we have a Christmas Day game in the NFL. I know we have basketball on Christmas Day, but we also now have football. We've been having football games on Christmas Day, and I love it. Just think about this: you wake up on it's Christmas morning. And those of you who have kids, of course, the kids will come to the bedroom and wake you up, jump on the bed, wake you up, and go see what Santa brought. Then you get up, you get your first mini cups of coffee, you get breakfast going, you get stockings, do whatever, then have breakfast, and then more gifts, family, friends coming over, gifts exchanging, whatnot. And then when 3 o'clock rolls around and you're about to sit down to your Christmas Day dinner, and it's about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, it says, oh, that's right. I almost forgot. There is football on. Yes, I know. I've been watching basketball. There is a game on football. Lions Vikings. We got to put that game on. Yes, I know it's Christmas Day. I know I need to be with my friends and my family, but you do know there is a big game going on Netflix that is playoff implications on Christmas morning, on Christmas Day in the afternoon at 3:30. So let me know what you think. Should there be Christmas Day football games and basketball games, or just one or the other? And let me know in the comments. Do we play it in the replay of this live as well? Now let's look at the pick books. What are the pick books? Games. Of course, they got Lions this week. Next week is easy. They got the Browns. Then I think they get the Ravens. Not much there. The only one I can see that could be good besides this week's game with the Lions, I only see one, that's the Ravens, but that's not much there. All right, now let's look at the Niners Colts. The Niners have left after this week's game of the Colts. You got the Bears at home and the Seahawks at home as well. And also a programming note next week. We have the 7:20 game on ABC and Peacock against the Bears for that one. So make sure you make the programming note for that one. Okay, let's look at another playoff implication game. Let's look at the Ravens and New England, Baltimore. You know Baltimore is at 500. They played this week on NBC. They have a night game against the Patriots, ABC Peacock, 7:20, and then they have the Packers next week on Peacock, 7 o'clock. Make sure you keep note of that. And that's the second Saturday game for the Packers as well. And then they get the Steelers on the road, as well as the Packers. So they got only one. This week is the last home game for the Ravens. And they are at Green Bay, and then they're at Pittsburgh. So, yeah, I can see some playoffs possibly going through Baltimore, but they need to have help for that to happen. And there's a lot of scenarios I can do. And if you want to break those scenarios down, make sure you watch NFL Live today with Dan Orlovsky and the crew. Okay, now let's check out New England. New England. Now, I guess he's back with Evan Cole because he earlier this morning I was listening and watching too. Sports Man like. So I was talking with Jim Tausch. Anyway, they were. Well, actually, let me backtrack here. Okay, the Patriots have the Ravens this week, Jets, and then the Dolphins. This should be pretty easy, but there might be some give and take a little bit there with the Dolphins game. Tua, and yes, Tua's right now Tua's future is up in the air right now, especially with Mike McDonald pending a firing. And I think he will after the Dolphins have their final game. He will get fired. So let's look at their season. And he's still 500. So yes, I don't believe they're gonna get fired. They got the Bengals this week. Next week they got the Broncos, and then they get the Patriots on the road. So yes, he only got 2 home games left, and then the last road game as well on the 4th of next month. And I can see maybe one win, at least against the. Well, I don't know. They could either win one, maybe at least beat the Bengals this week. They do somewhat. They'll be kind of scrappy for the last 2 games against the Broncos and the Patriots, but they will not win against the Patriots and the Buccaneers both. Because the Buccaneers are, even though they got a 7-7 record, they should be maybe a little give and take there, but then the Patriots, that should be an easy one for them. Or somewhat easy. Okay, let's see. We got. Let's look at let's break down another playoff potential team. Teams this season. Okay, how are the Jags? I think. I did this one actually. Okay, let's talk. Let's break down Panthers and Carolina. Tampa Bay and Carolina. Playoff opportunities. First, let's look at the rest of the season for the Buccaneers. They have, of course, the Panthers this week, Dolphins the week after, and then they get the Panthers again, this time on the road for the final game of the season. So I think they do pretty okay for them. That is the conference. That is the part of the conference. That is the week one. And of course, the Panthers have the Buccaneers this week, and they get the Seahawks of Seattle next week, and then they get the Buccaneers again. Only one I could possibly see that they could get is maybe one of the Buccaneers games and the Seahawks, but no three. But we'll see what comes out of that with Bryce Young. And Bryce Young has been better than he has the last couple of years. Yes, he has. Let's see how well Bryce Young will do in his last few weeks. Okay. Let's look at the Buffalo Bills final 3 games. Of course, they got the Browns this week. Next week, they got the Eagles. And then the Jets. So, yeah, Jets is easy. We know that one. Eagles is the only team I can see that they could have a hard time with. Jalen Hurts with the one game, as well as the passing game. And I don't forget the touch push. And I wonder if the Packers would go back to the courts after the season is over. Not just for the regular season, but even after that, whenever they get eliminated from the playoff game. It's either try to get the Tush Push banned again. Try another opportunity to do that. Okay, let's talk about the Cowboys Chargers because both teams have opportunities to play out. I know the Chargers have better chances of playoff than the Cowboys. With the Cowboys being 6-7-1, it could have been 7-7, 500 if they come in. If they did not have that when tied with the Packers, but let's look at the Chargers final few games. Of course, they got Cowboys this week. Next week on NFL Network at 3 o'clock on that Saturday afternoon, they got the Texans and then the Broncos after that. So, yes, the Chargers are going to have will have somewhat of a mini gauntlet here. You got, damn, I'm going. Anyway, they got, like I said, they got Chargers and they got the Broncos. So those and the Texans. So yes, they gotta be really work to get further into the to have a chance to get a good seed in the playoffs with at least 3 games left. Okay, let's see here. Then the Eagles' final games. Of course, the Eagles have the Commanders, and then they have the Commanders in the last game, but they have the Bills in between those two Commander games. But I would not be likely to I would not go lightly on the Bills. We know what the Bills did just a week ago. Again, let me go back to that game for last week's game with Bills. Because they did take on the Patriots, and they were down for most of the game, and then they ended up coming back and winning the game. And that would have been the game if the Patriots won that game last week. They would have already gotten the playoff berth outright. But they did not. But I think they will get it this week. I believe the scenario will be either a Bills loss and a Steelers. I think it's a Bills loss and a Patriots win for that to happen.
Kayla Rodriguez, Kayla.
Sorry, folks. My girlfriend's calling me. Anyway, let's get back into it. We're about to call it a day. Okay, let's break down the Bears. Actually, going to be doing the Bears because the Bears are doing good for the first time in a long time. The Bears' final games, they have the Packers this week. Then they get the Niners. Then they get the Lions after that. So, yes, they got a good 3 games left with their record. With a 10-4 record. This is a better Bears team that I have seen in a long time, really. I do mean an effing long time. And of course, before I do wrap this up, I got one other thing I do need to talk about. I'll bring that up in just a sec. Yes. We do have some stuff coming up with another show I'm doing with my girlfriend Kayla. And yes, we know what it is. DSD, like Down syndrome duo couples. So make sure you do follow us on our socials. We are on that. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We are on YouTube. We are on Instagram. We're on all those platforms and others. My girlfriend will get those set up for us as I speak right now on DSD. And make sure you follow us along. We got our first meeting in the next few weeks of getting this for DSD to be even more established and getting our own appearances. So make sure you check out DSD. We're gonna have also got DSD food vlog when we will be food critics. So make sure you check out DSD. Down syndrome duo couples. That's right. We are Down syndrome duo couples. I'm the first one half of it, and of course, don't forget the other half as well, my lady Keela for DSD. So make sure you do follow us along and watch us as well. On DSD. So let's keep this going. We got a lot to do. Okay, now back to the Bears, shall we? Because the Bears are doing a lot better. They have a chance for to make a playoff run. Because they only have within the last couple of games. Caleb Williams is really showing up. There we go. Of course, I need to take another line break. There we go. Because the Bears, let's look at some stats for the Bears. Let's look at some Caleb Williams stats, shall we? There we go. Sorry about that. Sometimes I have a little issue there. Here we go. Tech issue there within my ESPN app. And if you don't have the ESPN app, the new ESPN interactive app, make sure you download the ESPN app today. And make sure you sign up for either $29.99 a month or the $299 per year. And we are getting far away from the new year, which also means baseball will officially be starting right back up. And of course, NASCAR at the Daytona 500. Okay, let's get back to the NBA. We do have two games tomorrow night. Both at 7. Bulls, Cavaliers, the Bulls, Chicago Bulls will take on Cavaliers tomorrow night at 7. Grizzlies will take on the Timberwolves tomorrow night also at 7, but on NBA TV as well. So make sure you check those out tomorrow night. And of course, we have Let's see what else you got. Well, let's look what we got on the ladies' hoops tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow we got some good ones. We got North Carolina taking on NYC, North Carolina, University of North Carolina, Wigginton. UConn takes on Marquette. Wigginton, Carolina game. That's on ACC Note. Marquette and UConn will go at it. Number one, UConn will take on Marquette. Going to that game undefeated. Tomorrow night at 6 on Peacock. Kentucky and East Kentucky will go out at 5 tomorrow night on ACC Network and on SEC. Plus, we got all Michigan, Miss Valley State. Texas, other Longhorns will be taking on Northwestern State at 8 o'clock on SEC Network tomorrow night at 8. For the ladies basketball, NCAA basketball. Tomorrow for the men's, we have South Florida, Alabama at 7 Eastern and SEC Plus. St. Francis taking on Florida at SEC Plus. That one's at 5:30. Balance game is at 7. Vanderbilt taking on Memphis at 6 on ESPN Plus. On ESPN2, actually, as well. We only got a few teams that are still undefeated in college basketball men's. Gonzaga with a one-loss team, with only one loss. We'll take on Campbell, 8 o'clock in p.m. on ESPN Plus. And yes, I go back into the DSD again. They also done duo couples. And yes, it's a new group. Me and my honey came up with, me and my girlfriend Kayla and I came up with this. If you see my shirt, I work for ESPN Radio in Madison. And we were, I was on the clock, and we were working, having a great time, handing out the free swag, the barbecue, the pre-show for the Badger game, as well as good food and drinks. We barbecue and drinks as well. Coolers Lights, and then we all know when the mouse is blue, you know what to do. That is question Coolers Lights. So yes. So we were doing that, and we thought of DSD, Down Syndrome Duo, and we added the couples. We stand out. So yes, we are going to be on all social media platforms, like I said, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, and we might try Pinterest, but we'll see about that one. And of course, Facebook. We should check all our social media while my honey is getting all that together. We're going to have a lot. And then make sure you subscribe to all of our channels. My channel, here we're down with sports, and of course, my radio channel, and of course, DSD Cowboys channel as well. Hey, we are almost at the end of today's episode, so we're going to wrap this up with a salute. I'm going to be doing this from now on because we all know John Cena retired, and he always had his signature salute. So until next time, I am Sadler of and of course, I am also Sadler with my sports shorts, and of course, I'm also Sadler with Channel Sports. Until next time, we'll see you next time.